Hello guys, and welcome back to another tutorial. So on today's video we're going to be making this beautiful corporate top. So if that sounds like something you're interested in learning, do keep on watching and let's get right into the video. So guys, I've gone ahead to roll out the lines for the pattern here, and this is going to be the bust point, the under bust point, and our waistline. So I've gone ahead to mark that out, and this is going to be the full length we'll be working with. And we're going to be drafting out the back piece. We're going to be drafting out one pattern for the back and the front piece. So the full length is 23 inches, and this is what we're going to be working with. And as we go, we're going to extend the length of this. So now we're going to go ahead to mark out our shoulder measurement divided by 2, and then we're going to just mark that out. And as usual, we're going to come down by 1 inch because our shoulder is not straight. And then we're going to mark out our armhole, and this is your shoulder measurement divided by 2 as well. So I'm going to just roll this out. So now we're going to go ahead to mark out our neckline, and I'm going to be working with 3.5 inches. I'm going to mark that out, and then for the depth we're going to mark 1/4 inch there, and we're going to roll this out. And I'm marking 1/4 inch because we're going to be using this pattern to cut the back pattern first of all, and then we're going to go ahead to redraft it to suit the needs of the front pattern. So now I'm just going to roll the neckline to meet with our shoulder by creating the shoulder slope. So this is what we have so far. Now I'm just going to curve out the armhole. Next, we're going to go ahead to mark our nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2, and for me that is 3.5 inches. So I'm just going to mark this, and after marking this I'm going to roll this out. After rolling this out, we're going to mark 1/2 inch on both sides of the line we just rolled out. So we're going to mark 1/2 inch on both sides for our darts, and then we're going to roll this out. But before that, I'm going to come up here by 1 inch. So that is where our dart is going to end at the bottom part, and you can see that our dart is going all the way to the bust point. And now we're going to go ahead to just roll this to meet with each other. After rolling out our dart line, we're going to go ahead to start imputing our body measurements. So now we're going to be fixing in our bust point measurement divided by 4, our under bust measurement divided by 4, and we're also going to add our waist measurement divided by 4. On this point here, we're going to be putting in our hip measurement divided by 4. So I'm just going to go ahead to mark this out. So next we're going to go ahead to return the 1 inch that we took out here, and we're going to put it back here. Now we're going to roll everything to meet each other. So this is what our pattern is looking like so far, but we want to have a pointy look at this point here. So we're going to come out by 1 inch, and then we're going to roll this back in just to give it this pointy shape it has at the side of the top. So I'm just covering this part in to eliminate any harsh lines. So this is what our pattern is looking like now. We're going to go ahead to cut this out. So guys, this is the fabric we're going to be working with. This is a crepe fabric in burnt orange, and this is very thick. This fabric is very thick, so this is what it's looking like. And I have this in 2 yards. I believe 1.5 yards is okay for this top as well, but I went ahead to just buy 2 yards. So this is what it's looking like. So guys, we're going to go ahead to cut out our back piece. So as you can see, I went ahead to leave out 1.5-inch zipper allowance at the side here, and now we're going to go ahead to cut this. We're going to be cutting this, leaving 1-inch allowance at the side here. As you can see, you can choose to make yours 1.5, but 1 inch is okay. After cutting this out, I'm going to go ahead to chew at this bottom part here just to create a curve. So you can see this is what it's looking like. So what we're going to do next is at this zipper part here, we're going to come out by 1/2 inch. We're going to go in by 1/2 inch, sorry, and we're just going to roll this all the way down and upwards as well. And we're doing this to eliminate any bulging we might have while fixing our zipper. So we are going to go ahead to cut this out. So guys, this is what our back piece is looking like. I'm going to go ahead to mark this so I know the wrong side and the right side and I do not get confused. So guys, we're going to go ahead to work on our front pattern. So from this point here, I'm going to go ahead to mark 5 inches, and then from this part here, I'm going to go ahead to go down by 7.5 inches, and I'm going to mark this out. Now I'm just going to create a curved line, a broken line, so they meet each other. So this is what it's looking like. So we're going to use a broken line we made to just rule this out properly. After rolling this out, we are going to go ahead to cut it out. So guys, after I was done cutting this out, I'm going to go ahead to set this aside, and now we're going to use this pattern to cut out our front piece. So now I placed this on our fabric unfold, and you can see that this is the 23 inches we had, but I went ahead to add 4.5 inches more here. So now we have 27.5 inches as our full length for the front. Now I'm going to come down at the side here by 1/2 inch, and I'm marking this out. So from this point here, we're just going to curve this all the way to the front part. This is what the fabric is looking like so far. Now for the upper part here, we're going to be having pleats, bust pleats at this top part here. So I'm going to extend this line here by 2 inches. So I'm going to come out here by 2 inches and mark this out. Now I'm going to rule out the line to meet each other and connect this back to our armhole. This is going to serve as our new armhole. Now we're going to go ahead to cut this, adding our 1.5 inch sewing allowance at the sides and 1/2 inch allowance at the top as well. So guys, after cutting this out, this is what the front piece is looking like. Now on the midpoint here, I'm going to determine how open I want this part to be, and I ended up working with 7 inches. So we're going to be making the opening here to be 7 inches long, I'm going to go ahead to mark that out now, but first of all I'm going to take out the pins we have here, and I'm going to go ahead to mark 7 inches there. After marking that out, I'm going to go ahead to cut it out, and we're not cutting it all the way up. We're going to stop where we have our 7 inches mark, so you can see that I stopped there. So guys, this is what the front piece is looking like. I'm going to go ahead to set this aside, and we're going to work on the yoke part of the front piece. Now for the yoke part, I'm going to determine how wide I want mine to be, and for me at this bottom part I'm going to be working with 4.5 inches. You can make yours 4 inches or 3.5 inches. So I went ahead to mark 4.5 inches there, and I'm going to use my ruler to connect this back to my neckline. So I'm going to rule a line here, and after ruling this line we're going to go ahead to cut this out. So this is the part we are going to be working with. I'm going to go ahead to bring in our fabric, place this on fold and cut this out. We're going to be cutting out 4 pieces of this, because this is going to serve as the lining piece as well as the main fabric. So we're going to place the pattern down properly, and we're going to go ahead to cut this. And one thing you should take note of is when you're cutting this, you're to leave ½ inch allowance at the bottom part, but 1.5 inch allowance at the top. And this is because when you're twisting the fabric to get that effect on the top, your measurement is going to reduce a bit, so you want to have enough fabric to work with. And that is why I said when you're cutting this, the bottom part should have ½ inch sewing allowance, and the top should have 1.5 inch sewing allowance. You can see here that while I was cutting this, I made the top and the bottom ½ inch, but I went ahead to cut a fresh fabric and I added ½ inch at the bottom and 1.5 inch at the top, because it was not enough, as you can see. So I went ahead to cut a new one. So guys, we've come to the end of this tutorial. Stay tuned for the sewing part where I show you how to sew the top, and I will see you on the next video. Bye guys.